How's your Pacers career? It's been such a roller coaster. What were you what were you thinking about as the final buzzer goes off in that moment?
Man, I was just so, first of all, just thankful to Jehovah God, man. He just, I just never stopped believing, honestly. He's opened up so many doors for me, and never stopped believing in my team either, bro. I just think that at the end of the game, to answer your question when the buzzer was sounding, just nothing but joy, man. Just pure excitement, just pure validation. Just all the years, all the hate, all the love, everything in between, bro. It just made so much sense in that moment. And so I was just, man, to be honest, I don't know what I was thinking. I was just pure, I don't know, exuberance and joy.
Tyrese gets traded here. You signed an extension less than a year later. When did you know that this group had this level?
We were in Nashville. I think it was 2 years ago, just playing pickup and just seeing everybody's ability, man. You know, summer ball is so much different than obviously NBA hoops and whatnot, but just seeing the dedication, bro. Like first of all, everybody showed up. That was the biggest thing, you know, to get everybody on one page in the off season is so tough. But everybody showed up, and then one thing I've always done, bro, I always come in on off days. I've been doing that since my second, third year. Like I'll come in on an off day to get some shots or work on my body. When I tell you, like all our young guys, like from 2 years on, all the guys just got traded. We're in there every single time. Like that was a first for me, you know. And that's kind of when I knew, you know, to say that just the work that we put in.
I think just during the celebration, I think I saw you embrace with Reggie and then talk with Nancy Leonard afterwards. I'm sure there's probably more of those in between, basically. But what did you? I guess who all did you get to talk to? What were sort of the brief conversations you got to have with people that have been pillars of this organization, and what was that like to add to the emotion that's already there?
I talked to so many people, man. I talked to everybody from the training staff down, from the Simon family, from Nancy Leonard to Reggie to, massage therapists, like, or people in the media. Like, it's just, I just wanted to just embrace everybody, bro. Because again, it's so rare that you're in an organization where it's so consistent. You know, the trainers are the same, strength coach is the same. Front office is the same. That doesn't happen very often. So they've all been a part of this journey as well. So I just want to make sure I just embrace everybody that was there with me.
I think Ty might have made a point of saying that just being thankful for keeping this group together. Of obviously had to rebuild the roster, but over the past sort of 2 years, it hasn't been as dramatic of changes as sticking with this group. I guess how important has that been, just the cohesion that you guys have stayed sort of steady that way?
I think it's a new blueprint for the league, man. It's just I think the years of the super teams and stacking is just not. It's not as effective as it once was. You know what I mean? This NBA, since I've been in the league, this NBA is very trendy. It just shifts. But the new trend now is just kind of what we're doing. OKC does the same thing. Young guys get out and run, defend, and use the power of friendship is how they call it.
The trade you guys made for Pascal last year, just what kind of impact has that had, obviously on the court, but just for you guys locker room as a team overall?
You brought in a champion, man. You brought in someone that's been there before, and not just a fluke championship. Someone who he had to work his way up. He's a G League champion, G League Finals MVP, and obviously the All Stars, and someone who's also seen like the highs and lows. And to have that championship experience, for me myself, last year, of course, was my first time out the first round. There's only so much I can tell guys, when you have someone who's actually been in them trenches, who's actually felt what it feels like, so underrated, just the emotions this time of the year. You know what I mean? You don't sleep, you lose hair. Like, it's just what it is, man. If you can't explain that if you've never been here before. And just these past 2 years, again, all worth it. It's very validating on this stage, but it's definitely just takes a toll on you.
Myles, can you speak to the impact that Thomas Bryant had? And is that sort of symbolize what this team is about? The guy comes in off the bench, hasn't played, balls out.
Of course, man. I mean, him, Tony Bradley, the same way. Someone who you picked him up at the end of the year. Someone who'd been on 6, 7 NBA teams, was trying to find his way, and he carved his niche out perfectly. But yeah, someone like Thomas, man, I've been playing against Thomas since high school. Man, he's always had that enthusiasm, that energy, and that skill. And he was able to put himself on display tonight. He stayed ready. He didn't complain. He didn't pout. If you watch any film, bro, he's the first one up on the bench. First one just gassing us up, talking to us, and keeping us right. And we going down to foul trouble, he got his opportunity tonight, and he didn't look back. And I'm sure it's very validating for him. Going to IU of all places, and going to the NBA Finals in front of that crowd.
Myles, you guys had 7 in double figures. Siakam had 3 blocks. Drew had 6 assists or 6 steals. Kind of talk to me about just, you guys had everyone doing everything. How did this kind of win? How does it define what this team is all about?
Yeah, that's how we orchestrated this team. You know, it's like, again, it's not the flashiest, sexiest team. We get results. You know, and I think that's what you're able to see just throughout this playoff series. You know, and throughout honestly the playoffs in general. So, yeah, you know, you may look up and guy only has like 5 or 6 points, but there's so much insurmountable stuff that they're doing that doesn't show up in the stat sheet. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a guy like Drew. I mean, you can't replace that type of effort. Aaron Neesmith, man, he's playing through a hurt ankle. You know what I mean? We're all playing through something, but you saw what he did. He was able to come back and make an impact. You know, so it just speaks to the heart of this group, man. You know, you never know whose night it's going to be. You know, it's 1 to 15, and again, so it's what makes it special.
Myles over here. Like an hour before Tyrese's debut for the Pacers, Kevin Pritchard met with the media and he compared getting Tyrese in that trade to, hey, we think we got our Andrew Luck or our Peyton Manning.
Mm-hmm.
Before he played a game here,
Yeah.
how do you think he's responded to that sort of pressure, expectations, and obviously leading you on to the big one?
Yeah, man, I'm so proud of Tyrese, bro. For real, man. Y'all seen, you know, when it comes to being a superstar, bro, you gotta take everything that comes with it, the highs and the lows, the good and the bad. And, you know, from how the season started, you know, to how he was getting trashed and everybody was basically trying to turn their heads to him. And he just kept his head down and kept working, man. You know, I think that, you know, even going to this playoffs, the whole overrated thing. I mean, obviously, we know that's dead now. You know, he can't. There's not much you can say now about that. But I'm just proud of the way he's handled everything. You know, it's just, you know, it's a lot of pressure. You know, being that main guy. You know, people don't think about the off the court stuff. You know, that you have to handle as well. You know, being the man. And I think he's done a great job. You know, it's all happened so fast for him, but he's done a great job of just composing himself and you know, showing up when it matters the most. So yeah, you know, when you want to say that Andrew Luck or Peyton Manning of the city, you know, it makes sense. You know, he's the head of the snake.
Thanks, Myles.
All right, y'all.